Let me start by saying, Harris, if you would please, and you know, these leadership conversations, you've heard me have some of them before. Most of the time, my first take is to go around hearing a bit about your leadership journey, but more about it being that you would help me know on that journey, what have been the most important lessons that you have drawn that has helped you become the leader that you are, and more importantly, that can help anyone on their leadership journey to become what it is that they can be?
All right, great question. So hi, everyone, whatever your time zone is, you know, it's an amazing honor to be here. So let's just go straight to it. For me, I think there are two things I've learned, you know, and actually I've learned them from you. The first is actually, you know, never put a lid over anyone's leadership potential. You know what I mean? Because as leaders, we tend to cap how far our people can grow. One of the things that you know, FD would always do with me, for those of you who don't know, I worked with FD. I'm his son, I'm on assignments technically, so you know what I mean? But I worked officially with him from 2005 till maybe late 2010. And every time something great happened in FD's life, I kid you not, I'm not saying it because he's here, Simi can testify, FD would always say to me in particular, he would say, Bobo, coming soon. So when he made, for example, let's say the company would do some millions of naira, he will look at me, he'll say, Harris, coming soon, right? When he would be on international television, he would look at me and he'll say, Bobo, coming soon. Such that when something happens, he just points at me, I'll be like, I know FD, coming soon. You know, and it's quite interesting. And then he would always tell me that, he said to me that if you ever achieve what I achieved at the age I achieved it, then I failed. He says to me that whatever I do, you must do it 3 years minimum, 3 years before I did whatever age I was. So if I bought my house at 40, you must get your house at 37. And that's literally removing the lid over someone's leadership ability, because most entrepreneurs or most leaders don't want to sow the seed of greatness in their followers because they're afraid their followers will become greater leaders than they are.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So in sowing that seed, everybody was telling me that you're not going to be a great follower, you're going to be a greater leader. Wow. Now he's allowing me to dream. But unfortunately, many leaders put a lid to show the followers that the best you can be is a great follower, but you'll never be a greater leader. So that is something that, you know, a lot of us must be very deliberate with. Then the second thing that I've
Sorry,
learned
just before you go on, Steve, guys, please just keep putting out. I know many of you are around.
Was that me? Are we still here? I think I'll do.
That was me. I just got bounced out for a moment. Right. I was just going to say very quickly that, guys, please make sure that you are writing in the chat section what it is that you're hearing, what is touching you, what's most powerful to you. Please make sure you write that. I know you're writing in your notepads also. So please just put that out there. All right. Okay.
Yes, sir. You were saying
you're going to talk about the second one.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so the second one I've realized is, as a leader, you need to be comfortable with the fact that your followers or leaders may never give you the credits of your leadership.
Whoa.
That's the ugly truth. They may never give you the credits of your leadership. And I don't know what it is. It's that thing about people feeling like they did it themselves. So when they come into their own and people ask, you know, what's the secret of your success? They feel like, oh, it's demeaning to point back to the people who led you, you know? So let me give you a very real, honest example, and I'm sure everybody is okay with this. You know, when I left FD, you know, based on instruction, it was the hardest thing he and I ever had to do. I'm sure you remember, it was the hardest thing that he and I ever had to do. It
We
kind
both
of
cried
affected
and
our
cried and
relationship. We
cried.
both cried and cried and cried and cried. Serious cry, And during that time, because we're human, nobody's perfect. I was writing my first book, From College Dropout to Corporate Sellout, and I had to write a chapter about MD. Now, in writing that chapter, remember, my heart is pained. Me, I'm upset. He too was upset, small. So it was like father and son. I was just going at it with him a little bit, and I had to write this whole chapter called Fela Duratoy. And it was painful because I was like, no, I'm not going to write it. I'm hurt, I'm offended. I was still a small boy. I'm offended and this and this and this. And God said, you will not be who you are if he did not invest in you. Write that chapter. And I sat down and I wrote it. And the beautiful thing about writing it was even healing for me. It was very therapeutic because in recounting what God had used him to do for me, I came into a place of gratitude, that recognizing that, man, look, I wouldn't even be this guy if this guy had not invested in me. And sometimes I say this because there are people through our leadership journey who will come and they will go. And you may have had plans for, their role in your life and your role in their life. And they may not happen the way you intend. And sometimes grievances and emotions come in. But when they do, you have to be able to realize that some people will go and they will never tell anybody about you. They will never say anything about you, right? But there will be those few who are like 100 children that when they say something about you, every other person will gather, irrespective of the numbers of people who've passed through you as well. So yeah, those have been the two tough things that I've learned where leadership is concerned.
that is purely amazing. Guys, please help me first of all appreciate the wisdom that we've just gleaned from. I want to go somewhere very quickly, and this whole thing we talk about heart, head, and hands. And I'm going to do this thing called the ratatata. You know how we love to do it, the rapid fire. Harris, what must be in the heart of a leader?